The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said an envious person is actually a devil. An envious person is the worst type of person because an envious person will kill you. An envious person is a murderer. And if you ever listen to your grandmama and the old folks, they say, baby, if you lie, you're what? You steal. And if you steal, you're what? Murder. And if you steal, you kill or murder. So a murderer, an envious person is a murderer. A murderer is a thief. And a thief is what? A liar. This is the basis, this is who Satan is. Now all of us have that in us. All of us have it in us.
God made it.
So ain't no sense in pointing the finger at one person or the other and saying this who it is in the room. If it's 30 people in the room, it's 30 of these in the room. Until you deal with it. Because the Adam, what's in Adam is in every human being. What's in his family is in all of our what? Family. So we got to deal with this, or else this murder is going to continuously go on, and it's not going. We can say stop the killing, and we can go out with some picket signs, and we can put on the hoodies. We can do all that, but until we deal with this, it's not going to stop. Ronnie,
I wanted to say, like when you get around a lot of cats, it's like pro-black, and like intelligent cats that get together, and it's like they kind of teach that all this started with the European. You know what I'm saying? They kind of teach that, all right, homosexuality, man, we didn't do that to the European king. You know what I'm saying? This and that, we didn't do that to the European king. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, it's firmly believed, but I don't believe it. And I feel like until you face that, you know what I'm saying, until you face that truth and that fact, you ain't gonna get better. Like it's a lot of places I really don't go no more because it's like, all we doing is sitting up talking about the European. And I don't think we facing ourselves.
Yeah. I say. I think I know where that brother's coming from.
You had to look at the self because there is some truth in what you're saying. I know what them brothers are saying. Because if you take this back, this goes back 6,000 years, and 6,000 years is the beginning of the Caucasian race. So that's what he's talking about. However, there are, when you really get into that, what you're talking about is this Adam that we just read about was not the first Adam. There's over 50,000 Adams. And so the first Adam had this in him. The Adam that originated me and you. So this was here far before the Europeans showed up. It's just that when they showed up, their world was designed to manifest fully the full range of Satan. And so that's what we're living in right now. So people will look at that and they say it's because, no, it ain't because of the Europeans, because the Europeans came from us. So whatever is in the Europeans was in who? Us. It just fully manifested during their time of ruling. So we still got to deal with this, no matter if they here or not.
I understand that, but I want to know why they act like this if we all the same, you know?
Because
we got Adam in us, we all got hearts, we got brains, we got ears,
because of this.
Because
of this. Now you have to understand who you are. Once you understand who you are, you'll understand why other people envy you. If you don't know who you are, then you won't understand that. See, the black man is the original man. The black man has in him more of the gift and the spirit of God than any other people, because we were the first people that God created. Now, in us, just take this for example. There are no people who have gone through 400 years of slavery, of being whipped and tortured, their names have been stolen, their language has been stolen, their God has been, you weren't able to even practice your religion or say the name of your God. All this, and this has gone on for 300 and some years and up to 400 and some now. There's no other people that have gone through that and survived. But this is what happened to us in America, and it happened for a reason. Now, there are people who look at us today as black people and who know history and understand, and they're like, how the hell are them Negroes still alive? How are they still here? Oh my God, we put everything on them that we could, and that's like the roach that won't die. And I'm kind of being humorous about it, but those who know have that type of mentality. The people that when you see Obama running and you see all this hatred, and it's like, you know, people they draw pictures of him and Obama and his family, and they look like they're drawing pictures of apes and chimpanzees, and you wonder why would they say all of this about a man who, because of what? When you look at Michael Jordan, when you look at Derrick Rose, when you look at Venus and Serena, when you look at certain stars, and people have hatred of them, it's because of envy, because they are manifesting a gift. They are manifesting an ability that the other person doesn't seem, they say, I think I can do that, I want to do that, but I just don't have the ability to manifest what that other person is manifesting. And so rather than learning, rather than being a student, because God asked Cain, he said, if you do right, I'm giving you a chance to ask me a question. Become a student. If you be a student and allow me to teach you, right now, if we have a discussion as a teacher and a student, then I will have respect for you and you will have life. But if you lie to me, if you don't be a student, then you're going to resort to murder. And then you're going to have to hide it and lie about it, and then you're going to get locked up. Ronnie and then Brother Bush.
What I'm saying is, alright, so, cause like I do music, you know what I'm saying? I'm talking to different brothers, and they like, man, you know, I can do this, like I can rap, but I ain't gonna get into it because you gotta be this and you gotta be that. Like they feel like you gotta be behind the scenes, a gay dude to make it, you know what I'm saying? Because like this what they done seen, and this what these people done told them, like, alright, you not finna really make it. Talent ain't gonna let you make it.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to sacrifice your manhood to make it.
That's just ignorance. That's just ignorance. See, if you understand who you are, going back, if you become a student, just like you sit here and somebody tell you that, you like, man, I'm not trying to hear that. Now you talking about somebody else because somebody else might think that. But you don't think that because you've been a student and you sat under teachers who have given you knowledge. So you know it ain't about, you don't have to be one thing in the front and another thing in the back. If you have knowledge, you can be who you are all day. You don't have to bow to nobody. But you have to be a student to gain knowledge. And that's what God was telling Cain. And that will give you the ability.
And you can just also just believe, because you know it's possible, that society does create social clubs. As you can see them all doing life, but they stand for certain purposes. Even though we see this NATO convention coming up here, that's a social club. But what I wanted to get back to the envy for the young man right here to try to understand why we like this now. And the first thing you really have to do is kind of like to seek the truth. And before you seek the truth, you have to know about yourself. And it starts with, who are you? Where you come from? Who are your people? And we understand a lot of us, but a lot of us don't want to accept that when you see a Chinese person over here and you ask them, who are you? That person's going to tell you, even though they was born over here, that person is going to say, I am a Chinese American, which means that I give due respect to my homeland, my grandparents' homeland, China. But if you ask for a black African American, where are you from? Who are your people? The truth that our people, we're from Africa. And when you learn that history, you know how powerful Africa is. Because even if you read about it today, you can even see that it not only is but produces some of all the raw materials, and that they got the Sphinx, and that this is the home of, even that they'll tell you, of medicine and math and all of these wonders that people are actually living off today. So the problem comes for you to understand that how did we get here? So obviously then you understand about slavery. Where did that come from? Or sometimes they don't even want to mention slavery because the brothers say, you know, everywhere we go, the brothers talking about our negative past. Well, you need to know something about that, right? So when they brought us from Africa, because that's who we are,
and they brought us here. One thing that they perpetuated with us is to keep us slaves, to keep us unknown. And one way to do that was part of this message that we're studying today. Envy. One of the most powerful things that for you to understand is, have you ever heard of the Willie Lynch letter?
Yeah.
I mean, you brothers heard about Willie Lynch letter.
If you heard about the Willie Lynch letter, then you understand how that they perpetuate these myths to us, for us to maintain this among ourselves, so that we don't really realize who we really are, and not be able to understand that we can be anything that we want to be. Because in reality, we are the strongest of the people on earth.
That's why I want to ask another question. I want to ask, like, why is it that we gotta work hard and do all this to make it a life, but white people ain't gotta do nothing to sell their butt? And it's like all the envy on us, but they the ones getting all the money. So how is the envy on us and they the ones getting the money?
They doing different type of work.
Can I understand that? But we ain't got no envy towards them, but they got envy towards us, and they the ones getting money.
We do though.
Ron and then Marcus.
I'm gonna try to answer your question the best way we can. First thing is, not all white people living like that. You know what I'm saying? And one of the biggest things that they do is that they perpetuate this: white people and black people not liking each other, and all black people, Mexicans not liking each other. But you got to realize, it's only a small percentage of white people, 2%, that got a lot of money. The average, it's actually more poor white people than it is poor black people, because there's more white people in this country than black people. It's actually, if the poor black people and the poor white people got together and decided to, work together and get things done, this whole country would change. But the thing is, they use them and say, hey, you still better, even though you poor, you still better than them because they black.
Television, media.
You know what I'm saying? So
it's all the media.
we are. It's not just skin color don't determine how much money you make all the time. You know what I'm saying? Because there's more poor white people than it is. You know what I'm saying?
So why is it that it's more poor black people out here in the city? Like for instance, we go downtown, like how they treat people in the army. Like a white person, if they get, if they turn to a veteran or something happen to them, they'll be straight.
That's not true. That's not true.
Like, but it is though, because every time I go downtown, I catch a different dude, a different black person who got something messed up or scar for life on them, and the only reason why they hold it because they used to
when
be
I'm downtown, the most homeless people I see is white.
Well, I see black.
I see.
Now there is something that he's saying that I do want to address, because what you're looking at is the disparity, and all of us know there is a disparity. There is a disparity in that black people have been segregated against. Black people have been put at a disadvantage, and we as a people always find ourselves, even amongst poor whites and poor blacks, like Ron is saying, the poor blacks are on the bottom and the poorest of the poor. And you say, well, why is that? What you have to do is look at, when we started, I said that envy is one of the worst spiritual diseases that you can have. The answer to that goes to speak to a spiritual reason, because you have to look at what the purpose of you, black people, us being in America is. See, we didn't just get to America by accident. It wasn't by happenstance, and we didn't get on the Mayflower like everybody else and say, hey, I want to go to the new land and start a new life. All the white folks, all the Europeans that came over here, they came over here looking to start a new life, because they were leaving places in Europe, whether it was England, whether it was France, whether it's Portugal, wherever they were leaving because they wanted a new life. There were those who were free, and then there were others who were what? Prisoners. They opened the jails and said, look, if you guys go to the new land, you can start over. You'll be free. You guys get a second chance. Start over. Go over there and build a new land. Because guess what? We don't want y'all in our prisons no more. Go over there that new land with Columbus and them. And pay taxes. Now, what happened is they did that, and then they came to Africa, and they deceived the African people And after they came and they made, you know, alliances, and they brought mathematicians and builders and architects over, and the original Africans that came over actually helped them to build America, helped them to design, taught them how to plant their crops, taught them how to survive in this country. After that happened, then they killed them off. Because they are what?
Murder.
Liars, thieves, and what?
Murder.
So they lied about their intentions. They stole the land from the Indians, and then they murdered the Indians and the original black folks that they brought over.
Yeah.
What they did after that was they took the children. And let's say you are 5 years old, 6 years old, 7 years old, and really had a chance for your mother and father to teach you a whole lot. But your mother and father, they know their language, they know their culture. You know who you are. And I kill you, and I take your child. And then what's worse, you got a newborn baby. Newborn baby. And your newborn baby never knows you. I take your child, and I say, you know what? You were born to be my slave. You were born to serve me because you are inferior. You are an animal. You're not even a human being. And I raise up generations and generations of black folks telling them that. Now you have a black people with an inferior mindset that I'm only here to do what?
Work. Be free.
So Cain was a tiller of what? Of the ground. That's code for slave. Means that Cain's occupation was what?
Slave.
A slave.
So what about the Jews then? Because Jews got treated the same too.
No, they didn't get treated the same, but they went through a Holocaust. I don't want to go that far though, but and he's starting to hit on it because the history that they're really talking about is our history. So let me answer this question without going too far off. Hold on, hold that. Hold on. Let me get to the point without getting too far off. Because the point is, well, why do we see ourselves on the bottom and them on the top? If you, after 400 years, if you've held somebody down, and every time somebody comes to say, hey man, you're not a slave, you a man, stand up and be a man, boom, white folks kill him. Marcus Garvey stand up. White folks say, you got to get out of here, you got to go to Africa.
Go back, yeah, go back.
Nat Turner stand up, boom, and kill Nat Turner. Harriet Tubman stand up. Everybody that stand up. Sojourner Truth stand up. Everybody that stand up. They either kill them or they silence them, send them out of the country, so that the truth that I'm telling you, you never really hear. So today we got a generation of young people. Today we say, come to the Urban League. Come over and get some knowledge. But somebody say, man, them niggas over at the Urban League, man. Them niggas ain't talking about nothing. Envy.
Getting no money.
Now what we have been taught for years was, if you live on the south side and you live on the north side, the brothers on the north side better than the brothers on the south side. The brothers with the wavy hair, they better than the brothers with the kinky hair. The brothers who live in the house with massa, the ones who went to college, they better than the brothers on the street that didn't ever go to college. So they still playing on this envy. So we're still in this condition because we're still suffering from the problems of slavery and the fact that we are still being taught. And we still, not so much that it's being taught as much as we're perpetuating it ourselves. In that we're still hateful of one another, rather than just saying, you know what, this is my brother, and I need to be working with my brother, rather than hating on my brother. So we'll come into a room like this, and it never fails. If you get black men together, it's going to be somebody who manifests envy, jealousy, and self-hatred. Somebody who got to get up out the room and leave, because I can't stay in here among black men, because I got too much what? Hatred.
Self-hatred.
So that's what we're dealing with today. Is that making sense?
Yeah.